Destiny has invoked his sacred right of reply to the Decoding the Guru's YouTube channel.
This is a special right to reply episode, isn't it, Chris? Who have we got with us today?
We have with us one Stephen Bonnell, also known as Destiny, who we recently covered and invoked the secret right to reply rights. So thank you for coming on, Stephen, and staying up late, which was appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Am I on? Am I in?
You're on and you're in.
They are a relatively small YouTube channel, about 10,000 subscribers, but they have my understanding is they have a very active Reddit. And I dipped my toe in and I was surprised to find a thread on myself in this channel. So we will examine what knowledge there is to be gleaned and apply that knowledge to try and improve myself and what I'm doing here on this channel, as well as examining what exactly Decoding the Gurus do. It's essentially two guys on a podcast talking about bigger podcasts that they think are problematic and examining their motivations and trying to reveal, I would say, that why they are problematic. They're trying to articulate and make it in a helpful way to their audience so they can understand the dangers of these people. So, for example, they make a video revealing the red flags of why Destiny is problematic. They then give him the right, very generously, to come onto their podcast for 2 hours. And I can understand the pursuit, trying to find these big figures who have followings and are putting out thought into the world, and which has an impact. And so they're trying to understand the motivations. It seems like it's more trying to expose motivations, reveal scams, dissect these figures, find any flaws, any red flags that they can find.
Like, I think I say so many things that are red flags for you should never listen to this person. Like, anybody that describes themselves as like not nonpartisan, or anybody that describes themselves like, oh, I'm truth seeking, I try to be aware of my biases, I just follow the facts, or blah, blah, blah. Like, these are usually your biggest indicators that somebody's going to be the most partisan biased hack you've ever listened to in your entire fucking life. As soon as they put like truth or veritas or rational or logical or whatever in any of the shit they do, it's usually the least rational, least logical, most emotionally driven stuff you've ever heard in your entire life. So
it's just in some way or another, whether it's through identifying red flags, is trying to paint someone as what they're doing is just not up to your standards of normality. Perhaps they use big words that are overly complicated. Well, there's an entire hour-long video, or maybe it's a half-hour-long video, about why Bret Weinstein and Jordan Peterson use big words, and that's unnecessary.
They make everything that they want to talk about sound more intellectualized and erudite than it actually is.
It's good you brought us here, Chris, because you've taken us back to what Guru's Pod is all about.
We have a video revealing why Dr. K, the healthy gamer, therapist, professor at Harvard, is problematic too, because he goes online and has discussions with people.
He's very clear it's not official therapy, but he's just going to talk through the issues and ask questions that you might find therapeutic and that might be beneficial, but it is not a medical therapeutic encounter. And he is a licensed therapist, so that would be a problem.
So if you're a licensed therapist, you're not allowed to strive towards beneficial conversations on an online platform. If you're not giving medical advice, you're just trying to be helpful. And if that effort leads to an audience, that makes the very endeavor itself problematic. Seems to be the logic here. In this video, they reveal that he stops a conversation with his wife to address something that is bothering him.
I'm a little bit concerned with how disrespectful you are to me on stream.
Okay.
What do you think about that? I'm serious.
Okay.
On the surface, it may seem that he's just trying to model an example of how you can have the difficult conversations rather than sweeping them under the rug. When you're in a relationship, you can speak honestly and forthrightly and directly about when something is bothering you, and that can be helpful. And yes, it might seem on the surface as though that is the case, but
He had to set her straight. And it's not just the whatever it is, that ugly power game thing, but it's expressed in that newspeak, that kind of therapy language, like I'm sharing my feelings and now I want you, like, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that you can put old wine in these new bottles, and it's just it's the same old nasty shit that people have been doing for hundreds of years.
seems like one of the nicest people on the internet. He's had some of the most interesting, wholesome, helpful conversations as a therapist. What seems to be occurring here is just an example clipped out of context where he's trying to show how you can have the tough conversations in a relationship. If you're feeling uncomfortable, just go ahead and talk about it. So I was intrigued when I stumbled upon this thread. A friend sent it to me, and I thought, well, my first thought was, I'm not a guru, so okay, this is interesting. My second thought was, that's a lot of writing. These people have written large paragraphs with a lot of feedback. So there's got to be something here that can be useful, and because feedback is very good. So for example, one person, they say, Warren jumps in. He doesn't even introduce himself. Hi, I'm Warren Smith. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. I should start doing that more. I know I've actually never said those words on video, but in all seriousness, I wouldn't consider the pursuit of fame and the pursuit of stability. I don't think they're necessarily the same thing. I know it might appear that way, but if someone is trying to achieve stability with something that requires reaching a certain level or a certain size of audience in order to achieve that stability, such as YouTube, you have to grow your channel to a much larger size than where I am, and that requires pursuing and going forward as best you can in a way that it's easy to discount that and say and question that person's motives. Recently, I've launched a locals page, and I'm trying to look at other potential avenues, what to do. I don't know. And I'm sure that I will get, and you could think whatever you want about that, and that's okay. I don't think anyone should compromise their own pursuits based off of how others feel about it or what they say about them. Last thing, I should clarify that this is all just a subreddit. This YouTube channel has not done a decoding of me, and I by no means am a guru. I'm just a guy who likes to ask why, so I have no right to even invoke the right of reply, which is a sacred thing. But if you would like to ever have a conversation, I think you guys seem cool, and I would love to do it, and just keep making content. By no means take any of my criticism or thoughts as a claim that you should not have a voice or be able to put stuff out there. And you seem like interesting guys, and I'd be happy to talk to you if you ever do want to. I can understand if you don't, but it's okay to disagree. That would be it's okay to disagree on Dr. K or whatever it might be. So keep going, and perhaps we will meet.